I thought I'd do a quick video today. Something a little bit unusual, different than what we normally do. My wife and I love ribeye steaks. We also really enjoy a good New York strip. But this past year, prices have been unreal. 14, 15, 16, $18 a pound. So I was thinking during the holidays, there's a lot of specials going on. And I thought I'd kind of show you what I did this morning. We went to the store. So we'll kind of fan down here and look at some of these ads just briefly. Starting out over here, this particular ad at Deerberg's has a boneless beef ribeye roast for $14.99 a pound. Then we jump over here to Schnucks, and Schnucks has the same thing, $14.99 a pound. This is boneless. When we look over here, and I'm not a regular shopper at Aldi's, but they do have some really good buys now and then. And they've got a bone-in choice ribeye for $6.99 a pound, basically half price. Then one of my favorite stores is Fresh Time, and they have New York strips. It's $6.99. The reason I'm going to do this little video is sometimes it's intimidating to people that don't really know how to cut meat, don't really quite understand where some of the cuts come from. So I went ahead and we went up this morning and I purchased some ribeyes, bone-in, and I've purchased some boneless New York strips. As you can see right here, this one is New York strip, which we got from Fresh Times. It's $6.99 a pound. And this is a bone-in ribeye, which we got at Aldi's this morning for $6.99 a pound as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you here real quick how to cut this product. I've already opened them. We're going to cut some of these steaks and then we're going to cryovac them. Typically, the wife and I will take a good 16 to 20 ounce ribeye and grill it up for dinner, split that with a little asparagus and a baked potato, and we're set. So I'm going to probably get, what, 1, 2, 3, about 4 or 5, depending on the bone, ribeyes, and I'm going to get about 4 New York strips out of this as well. So when it comes in, take your plastic wrap off of it. The ribeyes have also got a little net on them here. So all I do with that is you can pull it off or cut it off. You need a sharp knife. Fortunately for me, I have several really sharp knives, but you got to be careful with them. And just dispose of that netting. And as you can see on the ribeye, these are bone-in. So I'm counting my bone here. I got these have got two bones in them. So you kind of got a choice here how thick you want to do these. Some people call them a tomahawk steak. Some of them call it just a bone-in steak. But I'm probably going to split this one real close to the bone. And then we'll take this one and cut it real close to the bone on this side and see how it works out. Every cut of meat's just a little bit different. And then I put a digital scale here so we can see how much they do end up weighing. I think real quick, we're going to fade away and I'm going to come back to you in just a minute once I open these other two up and get them placed. So we'll be back with you in just a minute. Okay, we're back. What I wanted to show you is with this ribeye bone-in, they've actually split this for you, but I'm going to go ahead and finish taking it all the way off. Let me see here. going to take this all the way off. As you see, I took this off. This has 2 bones in it, and it has a lot of meat here, here, and along here. So these are going to be perfect beef ribs. We'll do those separate a little later. This one, I went ahead and I cut it off. So I've taken the bone, and if you look along the side there, there's a lot of meat on this. So we're going to end up doing some beef ribs with that part of the meat. And then we're going to take this ribeye. If you look at it from the side, you know, you've got a ribeye, and there's your acorn fat, if you will, and then there's the tail. And I'm going to take this and kind of look at it, and I'm going to figure out, I want to figure out how much this piece of meat weighs without the bone on it. So it's 4.69. So close to 5 pounds. So what I want to do is I want to take this piece, and I think I'm going to cut it in 4 steaks, making each one a pound, maybe just a little over a pound. So kind of looking at it, I'll eyeball it here. And I've just put a little score on it so I know where I want to cut. And I'm going to take this, and like I said, a really nice sharp knife with a good even slice, because you want the steak the same thickness at the top and the bottom so that it cooks evenly. I don't know about you, but to me, that's a beautiful ribeye. Let's see how much this puppy weighs. 1.7 pounds. 1.07. So that's what I wanted, was just a little bit over a pound. So I'm going to end up with 4 1.06 pound ribeye steaks out of this roast. There you go, another beautiful steak. That one's 1.1. The other one was 1.07. So we are pretty darn close to them all being the same size. Remember, keep them fingers out of the way. There you go. Another beautiful ribeye. 1.18, 1.17, 1.07, 1.2. So they're all really, really close in size. So with that being said, this steak was, let me see, this steak was 5.87 pounds or $41. So $41, so what this amounts to really is basically I've got $10 a steak, which is at least half price of what you're going to get in the grocery store. So I'm going to set these aside here real quick. And we're going to pull over a New York strip. Now some people go, oh, you're going to trim the fat? You're going to cut this fat off? I'm not. I love the fat on the ribeyes. So I'm going to leave all of that fat right where it is. So I've got fat that I like. I've got ribs to do beef ribs. Excuse me. And then I've got a New York strip here, and it was $6.99 a pound as well on sale. So with a New York strip, excuse me, I'm not as fond of the fat cap on a New York strip. It's tougher. It hasn't quite got the same flavor that a ribeye does. So I do trim this just a little bit. A lot of people will leave it. I like to trim it just a little bit. But that's a beautiful New York strip. So I'm not going to take a lot off of it, but I am going to take some off of it. There you go. We'll leave that right on it. So that's how much waste we had. Let me see. Two ounces. We had 2 ounces of waste on this whole New York strip. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take this, excuse me, the easiest way to cut them is take them and see where you got the fat cap, because then you can mark that fat cap and try to get even cuts. And I'm just eyeballing them. There are some people that actually take a ruler and measure them, believe it or not. But if you're wanting them absolutely perfect, that's how you would do it. You would just take a simple tape measure or a ruler, lay it on there, and cut them all the exact same. I'm just eyeballing it. That fat cap's a little tough. But when you get that on the grill, that's going to give you a lot of flavor. Oops. Now that we're through that cap. So, we've got 4 beautiful New York strips. I think we'll throw a couple of these on here and just see what they weigh. That's 15.7 ounces. $14.6. $14.3. $12.8. Fairly close. This is my skinny one. But simple, easy. That's all there is to it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest of these steaks. I've got all together 3 ribeyes and 2 New York strip roasts, and it's going to take me a couple of minutes to trim them up, cut them up, and then I'll come back to you. And when I come back to you, what I want to do is I'm going to show you how I cryovac them. One of the worst things to do is take a really good steak, wrap it in saran wrap, and put it in a freezer and let it get freezer burned. So what I want to do is I want to show you how I preserve them by cryovacking them. And we'll be back in a couple of minutes, so just hang out, go have a soda. We'll see you in a few. So I'm going to get it pretty tight in here. I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut it right about there. You need to leave enough of a lip on it that you can get it into the sealer, and it'll cut the lip off and then suck the air out of it. So put it on your sealer. Let me see if we can turn this. Maybe we can turn this. Put it on your sealer. You want it just over the edge. I'm going to close this down. Pull it shut. And here there's a button that says vacuum and seal. We're going to see how this works. Success. Sometimes it's difficult. You have got to get the bag lined up in there just right for it to suck the air out and to seal it. Perfect. So what I'll do in a minute, I'll take a marker and I'll date it. I'll say what it is, and I'll do 20 more. So maybe we should do real quick. We'll do a New York strip real quick too. Let's get a real nice strip here. That in there. Now our strips are they're a little longer, not quite as wide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this right here. Then I'm going to seal this bag where I cut it and make another bag. So I should be able to get two using this one bag. So you want to be real careful and try to make sure you get this as straight as possible. Okay, set that aside. Take this strip. And as you can see, there's a little, like a canal there. And what that's for, it's any liquid that draws out of here will go into that little reservoir. And this right along here is the heating element, which will seal the bag. So we want to get it just so this goes into that little reservoir. Press it down, close it, hit the button that says vacuum seal. Starts sounding like an airplane taking off. And it's sealed. So I give it just a minute, excuse me, for that light. And the lights go off, it's sealed, and it's vacuumed. Perfect seal. About a 1 pound New York strip. Excuse me. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these. I'm sure you guys don't want to watch me do this for the next 30, 40 minutes. But hopefully the video helped, gave you some good ideas and some suggestions. Save a little bit of money and get some USDA choice quality beef. Hopefully you liked it. If you do, share it with your friends. Subscribe to our channel. Come back and look again. We'll have some new videos in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Thank you. Have a great day.